Hey everybody, I'm Matt Hill. I'm with Night Energy Services. I'm here with my friend Ken Lavin with Winter Mud. This is our show, Fossil Fuel Fridays. Very blessed and honored to have a close family member here today, Pat Brown with Rose Rock Environmental Services.
That's right.
All right. Just wanted to say thank you for coming and being on our show, for supporting oil and gas in Oklahoma. You've been in it a long time.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, growing up in Cleveland and Bristow, Oklahoma, he's pretty much been in it his whole life. So we just also want to say a shout out to our cousin Russell Brown. He's our corporate sponsor today with Premier in Tulsa. So if you need anything to do with financial services, go see Russell Brown. Pat, please tell me everything you can about Rose Rock Environmental and what you guys are doing over there.
Well, it's an environmental company that's got over 80 plus years of experience with the founding members. They've been in this old business just as much as I have. We do SPCC plans, Tier 2 reports, just a company that tries to keep you compliant. You know, where that's their main goal, is to keep you compliant. Work with each individual operator, bulk storage. It doesn't have to be just tank batteries. We're not just secluded to just the oil and gas industry. We can branch out to bulk storage facilities, oil, water, whatever you have there, we can take care of. So.
Nice. Do you see in the in our current industry predicament with gas and oil prices down? Do you see more companies looking at what they can do to clean up their sites and their facilities?
I mean, that's a good question. I think it's everybody knows you have to have these plans.
Sure.
It's the rules. So you got to stay compliant if you want to stay in the business.
Right.
So I think to answer that question is that each operator has to ask themselves, do they want to be able to be worry-free and just do what they know how to do and what to do, which is produce oil and gas, or do they want to continually be at odds, if you will, with the governing agencies that oversee them, whether it be state or federal? So I think in this environment, you also have to have an operating budget. So you have to know that, okay, I have these plans, they need to be reevaluated. We've changed this tank battery. We've got the volumes are different. We need to have an engineer reread these, recertify them, and we can do all that. But I think as we all know, as you produce oil, it's a depleting product. So if your volumes change and you change your tank battery, then you need to recertify your plans, and that's where we can come in. We can recertify plans that you've already got existing. We can do that, or we can do new plans. But I think as a whole, the SPCC plans have been around a long time now, and it's something that as an operator, you have to do them. You have to get in, you have to do these, or you pay a fine. And sometimes that's probably not a good thing, You don't want to be on a radar.
Absolutely, and I was going to say you could even go into the operator side as well. So you have operator, or I should say the vendor side, or like our side, service side.
Right.
So you have something to think about, guys. Not only can you do for the operator, but also for the service companies as well.
Right.
And there's really no industry you can't touch.
No, I mean, if you had
oil and gas,
schools.
I
mean, that's the thing. Water distribution centers. I mean, anytime that there is a bulk of fluids, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's water. And here's the thing, and this is, being an old field inspector with the Corporation Commission 15 years ago, and
a good one, by the way.
Yeah.
Shout out there, Buster.
That's right.
Start taking notes right now. Take notes.
OERB Inspector of the Year, so twice, not counting, twice. But I mean, anytime you're moving fluids, it's not if, it's when you have a spill. You're going to have a leak. Anytime a human touches it, there's that. You increase the chance of error.
There's a little bit of risk.
There's a little bit of risk. I mean, when a human touches it, there can be a problem.
Human factor.
Human factor has to be equated into that. And so anytime you're moving fluids, it's not if, it's when. And when it does happen, are you prepared? Do you have your plan? Do you know how much fluid you're moving? I mean, there's nothing wrong with being prepared. There's nothing wrong with being proactive. We all go to the doctor as we get older. You go to the doctor, you get checked up. You want to make sure that everything's working. you take your car to get the oil changed every 3,000 miles. Why? It's preventative. This is that preventative step in the oil and gas industry. It's a peace of mind knowing.
And you could even say that the cost of this and what y'all are doing,
it's minute in the long run.
Is minute in the long run of what could actually happen in the minute.
And this is the beauty of it is the guy that started this company, founded this company, Ken Murphy, is an old geologist. He's owned production. He's set on wells. He knows what that operator's going through. I was a field inspector. I bought crude oil. I've owned oil and gas production. I have royalties right now. You know, I mean, everybody at this company has had a hand in the industry, so they understand what you're going through. When oil hits $39 a barrel on the board, we know that it's actually 35 something at WTI posted. So we know that it's back. So we understand that, listen,
you're working within their budget.
You got to
do what you can.
You got to
help them get compliant.
It's no different than you and I going to the car dealership. I mean, we're not going to go out and say, I want to buy this Lexus and then go broke buying it. You're going to buy within your budget. We're going to help you stay within your budget to keep you compliant, because you going broke does not do yourself any good. It doesn't do that town you live in any good. It doesn't do the state any good. We're all in this together. And the thing is, you know, it's kind of like I told a guy the other day, family doesn't push people down. They pick each other up. I think as service providers, you can't just knock these guys down and say, we're not dropping our prices, we're not going to work with you. You have to be willing to work. We're all, listen, none of us are doing what is making the money that we used to make, right? But if we're here in another 5 years, then everything that we did to work with each other pays off in the long run. It's all about, if you're in the oil and gas business, you better be long term. If you're in it for the short term, you're not going to make it.
And I believe one of the reasons that we all think like that, there's a lot of perceptions out there. I shouldn't say a lot. We hear that there's perceptions out there in the public that oil and gas is polluting the world, not doing a great job environmentally. But because of that long-term vision, you know, I'm human. We've all got kids and family. We all want this earth to be clean. We know that the more environmentally efficient you are, the more financially efficient you are. So because of guys like this working with operators and anybody that needs those environmental services, we're doing our very, very best. And sometimes
take them out of the picture. Back to your point of the pollution stuff,
You're at 8 minutes.
I don't know any operator that does that intentionally.
right.
The perception is this, and I think people have to look at it this way. Whether it's through gross production taxes or what the state school land commission gets, you know, there are certain sections in each township is allocated to the school land commission. That money is allocated out to school grant schools. So, like, you know, I think UCO is a school land grant.
Yep.
The high schools around here. I mean, it's allocated for just that, and I think people need to understand that there's not an operator that doesn't have skin in the game in this state.
Yep.
Everybody
Every
does.
Person that works here
Right.
is supporting this
We
state.
just talked about that a little bit earlier, and we didn't go into the number. Our oil and gas industry alone is taking up 30%. We're paying 30% of the state's budget.
And I think what people have to really understand is that a lot of that comes from 2 and 3 barrel a day wells. If people think all they see is in the paper is these big wells that are drilled out in western Oklahoma in the Stack or in the Scoop or West Texas, that's all they hear about. But what they don't understand is every one of those wells will end up being a stripper well, a marginal well, 10 barrels or less a day. And what people don't understand is that those wells make up the Pahuskas, the Scheidlers, the Bristows, the Clevelands, the Kiefers, the Drumrights, the Cushings, Ada, Holdenville, Seminole.
Everybody, you can get online and just find out how many wells are in Oklahoma and then what they're producing. And you can see that Some people might have one well producing a couple barrels of oil a day, but they're in oil and gas.
Right, and this is the thing. What a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, when royalties, if you look at some of these royalties, there's banks that have interest. There's schools, the universities have been wheeled these oil and gas royalties. So the thing is that before people's ready to go to straight electric cars and listen, I think there's a place for all of it. I really do. I'm not going to say there's not, but what I'm saying is that before you start really ready to ban everything, you might want to ask some of these college presidents if they're willing to give up some of their royalties that's been willed to them through estates or banks or foundations. You don't know. I mean, what people don't know is do your research before you're ready to start labeling everybody polluters. I mean, do your research. I mean, listen, I tell people this, before you want to get personal, find out if anybody in your family's had a surgery, because that plastic or that metal, you're welcome.
Thank you, oil and gas.
You're right.
For
I mean,
surgery.
Yeah,
we have a mutual uncle that had a valve replacement.
Yeah, Uncle Gary. Thank you, buddy.
15 years ago. That's part of the industry. That technology, knee replacements, you know. I mean, the thing is that instead of hammering us, sometimes it's just, you're not looking for the self-gratification, but just a thank you.
Yep.
Just a, hey, listen, we appreciate it. You know, that fuel that ambulance goes to pick up that kid or that whatever.
And that's what this is all about. That's what we wanted.
Fossil Fuel Fridays is particularly important to
And that's
showcase
right.
what you do in our industry and why you do it.
Right. And this is what SOAR does. It gives back to the education. OERB gives back to the education. I mean, there's nothing better to see kids understand that the science, the technology, the math, there's a reason for it.
My cousins raised some good kids that know about oil and gas, by the way.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And it's a good industry. You know, it's a promising industry. It has its ups and downs, but so does every other industry. No industry's perfect. So, you know, I think we have to be careful. You know, we have to be careful about how we perceive things. Don't rush to judgment. Research it, you know. It's just like, you know, the environmental side. You have to have it done, right? You have to understand it. You know, give us a call. Let us help you explain it. We'll walk you through it. And then you get to make that decision, how you want to. I mean, all you're wanting to do is explain. All you're wanting to do is teach. That's because you have to make sure everybody understands the importance of it.
And I think to that note that more and more with each new generation of oil and gas leaders that are coming into our industry, that younger generation brings that passion for the environment, and they're seeking you out and saying, hey, I want my oil and gas company to be a leader in protecting our environment, making sure that we're in compliance with the state laws. I think we're going above and beyond now.
Oh, I do too. This is not your granddad's industry no more.
No.
I mean, and just like the healthcare system is not your granddad's healthcare system anymore. This isn't take this Tylenol and call me in the morning type deal. And oil industry is the same way. This is, before I drill that well out there, I need to look at, all right, what kind of a footprint are we going to have? What kind of an impact are we going to have on that guy's pasture? Are we going to have to move his cattle around? Are we going to have to take up part of his hay meadows? And I mean, those are the things that are taking place right now. Those aren't things that aren't discussed in the media or in the public, but operators look at that and go, we got to help this guy out. We can't just say, we're going to drill this well here and you need to go find more hay. What do we got to do to help you find that hay? You know, we don't want those cows. That's your livelihood. You know, I mean, I think it's all about working together. At this point in time, it's all about working together. I mean, you know, I think it's the only way we're going to survive. You can't be like this. You know, it's hey, listen, I can't afford to do all that. Well, let us work with you. Let us see.
You're now a partner in their success.
You have to be. You have to be. It's all about working together and understanding. Listen, we want you in business in 5 years. It does the industry no good if you're not.
Yep.
So what do we got to do to help you there? Everybody should be in that same frame of mind, and that's the beauty with Rose Rock. These guys are good guys. These guys have been in the industry. They've been they've witnessed 82 gas prices that drop, Penn Square type deal. 86, the oil plunge, the dreaded 90s, good grief, then 08, then 2014, the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, all these different ups and downs, they understand it.
Tough guys.
They understand this, It's, listen, you gotta understand the fact that this is going to be a roller coaster industry.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way you survive to get to the end of the ride is everybody's got to say, "Yep, I went through that pitfall with you.
We were there together.
We were there together, and we'll be there when you decide to retire."
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah, it is.
It's a family.
Pat, tell me just a little bit more about Rose Rock Environmental, and what are you guys going to be able to do for everybody? All your services.
All our services is we can keep you compliant. SPCCs, we can do the plans, we can draw the plans, we can recertify the plans, we can. If you've already got them existing, we can go do it. We can still certify them when you do them annually or whatever. Your Tier 2 reports, get you in compliant with the DEQ, all those reports. We're certified in Kansas, Colorado, Texas, Wyoming. I mean, we can. If you've got stuff in Texas and Colorado, we're there. If you got stuff in Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, we can do it. We're able to fit what your needs are, and so we're able to be flexible. We have the experience, so I don't think anything's going to come up and we go, wow, we've never seen that before. I mean, 80 plus years of experience, I think you can go ahead and say we've seen it.
That's excellent. Hey, everybody. Again, I'm Matt Hill. I'm with Knight Energy Services, and, of course, my friend Ken Lavin with Winter Mud. Come over here, Ken. Say hello.
Thank you, guys.
And then a family member and friend and a very strong supporter of our industry, Pat Brown. Thank you all for watching, and God bless. Have a great day.